On this episode of How to Start Investing, we're going to go over some basic terms. That way we can equip you with some knowledge so that when you're looking up a stock, you know exactly what you're looking at. The first term we're going to talk about is equity. Now, equity just means an equivalent value of something. Recently, Beyonce got paid, cashed out basically, from her equity investment in Uber. When Uber was private, she put money in the company with a promise that when the company became public, whatever it was worth then, that value will be paid out to her in cash. So equity is something that's transferred later. It's an equivalent value of something transferred later. The next term we're going to talk about is common stock. Now, these stock purchases that I'm talking about, that's basically common stock. That's what we're talking about the whole time. It's ownership in a corporation. And the way you symbolize ownership in the corporation is how much common stock do you have in the company? How many shares of that company of common stock do you own? Now, there is another term called preferred stock that I'll get into in a later video. Right now, we're just going to focus on common stock. So when you're buying your shares from your brokerage and you're accumulating your position, you're actually increasing your common stock position. Next, we have blue chip stocks. Now, blue chip stocks are basically your nationally or even internationally known stocks. They've had a long track record of success as well as a good financial record. I mean, these companies right here are recession proof. Your Walmarts, your Coca-Colas, your McDonald's. Those companies have been here forever. And so they're called blue chip stocks. These are the big boys. The next term we're going to talk about is market cap. Now, what a market cap is, it's basically saying how much your company is worth. Now let me just break it down into an equation. For a market cap, it's the amount of shares that you have that are outstanding times the share price. So however many shares you got out there in the street sold times whatever the share price is that is being sold on the stock market, that's the market cap. Now there's levels to the market cap, and I'm about to go over them. So you have large cap. A large cap company, that means when you say cap, you mean the top. So their money exceeds $10 billion. So anything to be considered a large cap, they have to be worth more with their shares and their share price, more than $10 billion. A mid cap company would be worth anywhere from $2 to $10 billion. That's mid cap. And of course, a small cap then would be anything less than $2 billion. Now, the next term we're going to talk about is rate of return. So, what is a rate of return? Well, we know when something returns to us, it comes back. And as investors, that's what we want. We want to put funds in, and we want to get more funds than we put in back. That's a return. Return meaning coming back. So if I gave you $100,000 for your company, my return would be $100,000 plus whatever it is that we made off the company. The rate of return would be the percentage of that money that I put in. So for instance, if I put in $100,000 and I got back $115,000, then my rate of return would be 15%, because 15% more of what I put in came back to me. Rate of return. That's what you're in this game for. You want a nice rate of return. Anywhere from 10 to 15% is something very ambitious for us stock market investors that we want to see over our lifetime. Typically you're going to get anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8, depending on inflation and depending on situations like this pandemic that we're going through right now. the rate of return has been very low. As a matter of fact, it's been nothing or negative because people are losing money. So when you're gaining money, you're getting a positive return. When you're losing money, you're getting a negative return. Now, these are just the basic terms. I'll go over them one more time. So the first one is equity. Remember, equity is just an equivalent value of something to be paid later. It's worth this, but we'll translate it into dollars later. Remember, Beyonce, Uber, that's what she get on her lyrics, pay me in equity. Common stock. Common stock is what you're purchasing from your brokerage account. These are shares, which represents ownership in a corporation. The more shares, the bigger position, the more ownership that you have in a company. If you had a third of the shares of the company, then you're a third owner. So, common stock. Blue chip stocks. Blue chip stocks are your traditional heavy hitters. We've been here since the beginning of time. We have a great track record. We have phenomenal financial history, and we're not going anywhere. Companies like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Waste Management, AT&T, these are blue chip stocks. The next, large cap stocks. Excuse me, I went too fast. I skipped over a term. Let me go back. Market cap. The market cap basically determines how much a company is worth. And you find that out by seeing how many shares they have outstanding, and you multiply that times the price of the shares. So if you had 10 shares outstanding and your share price was $10, then your market cap would be $100. Make sense? So there's different levels to the caps. You have large cap, which is any company worth more than $10 billion. Those are considered large cap companies. Mid cap companies are any companies that are worth from $2 to $10 billion. Mid cap. Small cap stocks, those are any companies that are less than $2 billion. Now, the last term is rate of return. Rate of return is the percentage of money that you're either getting back in excess or the amount of money that you're losing. We're in it for a rate of return. I gave the example earlier. If I gave you $100,000 in an investment and I got back 115, then my rate of return would be 15%, because that's what's returning back to me. So that concludes our basic terms for how to start investing. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, so next time when I drop a video like this, you'll already be on top of it. And until the next time, keep investing. Strong Mind Legal Money. Peace.